Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Al Shai, Hashem, Rakakodash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'm going to try to make this real quick. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Chat GBT says, the Messiah will enslave the other nations for the sake of Israel. He'll be the power to put the other nations in captivity under the Israelites. And he says it in Luke 4, but he doesn't go through all the prophecies. If you go to Luke 4 verse 18 to 19, he makes a statement concerning, okay, I should actually read it. He speaks about the good news. The good news, okay, Luke 4 and 18 and 19, declaring the good news to the poor, healing for the brokenhearted, and liberty for the captives. Now he opened up Isaiah. He opened up the scroll to Isaiah 61, but he didn't read down to verse 5. He read down to, matter of fact, let me go to it. I'm going to go to Luke 4, verse 18 and 19. I'm going to go up a little bit too. No, I guess the point is in the 18, 19 verse. So let me bring that on up. That's why these Christians are scrambling, because they know that if they're not right, or if they're not Israelites, they're going into captivity. They just know that. 18. You know, vocab is open like hell. He's not an Edomite. That's why he said the Edomites are done away with. Okay, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm in 18, 19 verse. Okay. So this is Luke 4 verse 16. And he, our Lord, came to Nazareth, which is in Palestine, where he had been brought up, because he was born in Bethlehem, fulfilling the prophecy. The Messiah had to be born in Bethlehem. If he was born in Nazareth, he could not be the Messiah. He had to be born in Bethlehem. His father's line had to go back. His line had to go back to Judah, the tribe of Judah. If his father was a Levite, he did not fulfill prophecy. And not only that, but besides being Judah, he had to have direct lineage to King David. Matter of fact, he had a direct lineage to King David on both his father's side and his mother's father's side. His grandfather on his mother's side went back to King David. So he had to fulfill all of these things. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the temple on the Sabbath. He didn't have sex on that day, because on the Sabbath, to keep it holy, you got other rogue Israelite groups, like the IUIC, saying you can have sex on the Sabbath. I don't know what ISUPK, I don't know what their view is, but if they teach that, they're going off too on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. And that's what we're going to do in the kingdom. We're going to honor the Most High all day, the Sabbath, and any high holy days that's required. There's certain days that you have a feast and you enjoy yourself. It's not a Sabbath, like Purim. So it says, And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. To be exact, it was Isaiah 61. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, because it was not codified. Excuse me. The Spirit of Yahweh. It says the Lord, capital L, lowercase R-O-D. It should be all caps L-O-R-D, Yahweh. So it should say the Spirit of Yahweh is upon me. That's the Messiah, the Son of the Most High. Because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. The poor are Israelites. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted. The Romans, the Caesar wasn't brokenhearted. The rich Romans that ruled over us, the Senate, they wasn't brokenhearted. It was the Israelites that were brokenhearted because they were under the power seat of the Roman Empire. Because we're a proud people. We didn't want to be under anybody. To preach deliverance to the captives. Who are the captives? The Israelites. Did he tell it to all Israelites? No. He had Israelites living in Bethlehem, Jerusalem, all over Palestine, and even outside of Palestine, and in America. So he didn't tell everybody, like these dumb, monkey-minded Christians say. Oh, he came into his own, and his own did not receive him. What are you talking about? Do you know that the apostles, the 12 disciples that became apostles? Do you know that they were Israelites? Did they deny him? And recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Set at liberty is the freedom. So who are they under? Locked under the Romans. It says to preach the acceptable year of Yahweh. And he closed the book. He closed the book and gave it again to the minister, and sat down, and the eyes of all them that were in the temple were fastened on him, and he began to say unto them, this day is the scripture fulfilled in your ears. When he said that, what did it mean? You can look it up. It meant that he's a Messiah. Right? Go back to the 18th verse. The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because he have appointed me to preach the gospel. The me is the Messiah. He said that I'm the Messiah. He didn't say he was the Messiah, but he said, today this has been fulfilled. So they said, is this guy saying that he's the Messiah? When you continue to read, they try to throw him off a cliff. So that was fulfilled. Right? And they said, oh, he going to destroy the Romans and bring us down. They didn't understand that we had to be destroyed, taken down by the Romans in 70 AD. Even the apostles, Acts 1, I always go to that, around about the 6th verse. He said, oh, you back, you came from the dead, so now you're going to take these Romans down. He didn't say it in those exact words. So you're coming back to take this man down, and we're going to be in the kingdom, right? And he said, nope, you're going to have to be here for a while. And before you're set free from the captives, you're going to have to preach this word all the way on the western hemisphere. Very important. That shows you the gospel. The gospel was first preached in Palestine. Nazareth was the main place. And ultimately is going to end in America, which is that's why I said the uttermost part of the earth, which is the west. There's many precepts on that. There's many scriptures on that. So now, if he said that was fulfilled, what about the rest of Isaiah 61? that's going to have to be fulfilled too. So now let's go to the chat. So the Messiah is going to say the Romans are going to go down, they're going to be under your foot, and they're going to work for you, and you're going to be slave masters, they're going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven consists of Israelites and the other nations being your slaves. So let me read this. It says, strangers shall stand and, let me do this. Isaiah 61 verse 5 says in the ESV, strangers, which are other nations, shall stand and tend to your Israelites' flocks. Foreigners, which are other nations, shall be your plowmen and vine dressers, which plantation is a farm. What do you do on the farm? You plant things. So the southern Edomite had plantations, which were farms, and who tended to them farms and plantations? The slaves, which were Jacob, which were Israelites. So that's going to be 12 years a slave, and you're going to reverse the characters. You're going to have Edomites, so-called white people, working in the field, and we're going to be sitting back, sipping on mint juleps, sipping on wine, and you're going to have certain people that's going to cook for you. You're going to have certain people that do certain things, but Esau and other nations will be out there in the field working. You're going into hardcore slavery. So it says, meaning and context. So if he had read down to the 5th verse, he would have said, these people that, that are your captives, they're going to be your captives. You're captive unto them. They're going to be your captives. If he had finished reading down to the 5th verse. And the reason why I went into this, because I just finished watching a video that was put up by the elder out of D.C., Monaghan, and he was going into, it was a short, like a 17-minute video, and he went into Genesis chapter 49, and he was going into how the Christians don't understand prophecy. Yeah, the Christians don't understand. They couldn't decipher Genesis 49. And they can't decipher Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61 clearly tells you that we as Israelites are going to be sitting back, relaxing, and the other nations, including Esau, will be out there in the field. That's just a fact. So even the chat is going to tell you that. It says meaning and context. This verse is part of Isaiah 61, a prophetic passage about restoration. Who's going to be restored? The Israelites. What are they going to be restored to? Their kingly royal position. Your royal priesthood. Peter said that. He got that from the law, the Old Testament. A peculiar nation. Blessing and the coming of Yahweh's favor. He favors us. The chapter opens with the famous words quoted by the Messiah in Luke 4:18-19, declaring the good news. In the Old Testament, it says glad tidings, which means the same thing. You get the word euangelion in the New Testament Greek, which means good news. Loosely translated, good news. To the poor, we are the poor. Healing for the brokenhearted. We're brokenhearted because we have slave masters over us. In other words, they're taxing us. And liberty for the captives. We're the captives, we're going to be freed. We're still captive to this day. You shall be subject to payments. You don't believe me? Oh no, we're not subject to payments no more. Go through a red light. Keep going through a red light and see how many times you get pulled over by a state trooper or a police officer. They're going to give you the ticket. You don't got to pay it. You don't got to go to court. But guess what? 5 months down the road, you're going to be driving, you're going to get pulled over. Oh, you got to suspend your license. Oh, we got to tow your car away. We're going to give you a ticket. And you're going to have to come into court. And you're going to have to answer for driving with a suspended license. And also the initial ticket because you went through a red light. So for all you niggas out there that's talking about you ain't under the curses, you got to be out your cotton picking mind. This is why we look at Jake and we assess his mental state. If we know that your mental state is low, we get you out of there. We want to deal with a person with a low mental state. Verse 5 continues the theme of restoration and reversal of fortune. We're gonna go into that. We're gonna look that up. For God's people. Who are God's people? Daniel 2 verse 44. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. Not going to be left to the other nations. And we're going to come back to this. Interpretation. Here's the breakdown. Strangers shall stand and tend your flocks. That's people that's going to work on your plantations. Foreigners, strangers, foreigners, same thing, other nations, shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. Now, when you go to Isaiah 61 and 5, and what it talks about the plowmen and vine dressers, when you look the word up in the Hebrew, the word is for a man to plow, but to not reap the benefits of him planting. That's a slave. Slaves in the American chattel slavery, they did all the work but received not the blessings. So the same thing's going to be happen to you. So we're going to remember this word here. Reversal of fortune. This implies reversal of past oppressions. What does reverse mean? If you're wrestling, somebody gets you, he pulls a whatever move, fireman's carry, whatever. You can revert. He's on top. You can reverse that. He goes to pin you. You can reverse that, and then you get points for what's called a reversal. Right? Look up the word reversal. If somebody's on top, you're on the bottom. Reversal means you're going to be on top and they're going to be on the bottom. Reversal of past oppressions. So reversal is a two-way street. The oppressor has to now be the oppressed, and the oppressed has to now be the oppressor. Isaiah 14, 1 and 2. In earlier times, Israel was often enslaved or subjected to foreign domination. That happened 2,000 years ago by the Romans, the so-called Egyptians, Moab, Ammon, the Greeks, so forth. That's why all of them are going to go into captivity. Now, the roles are reversed. Foreigners of any other nation, if you're not an Israelite, you're a foreigner, will serve Israel. So Chad is telling the truth. Get down, chat. Provision and blessing. The Most High's people, the Israelites, will no longer toil, work under oppression or lack. That's the curses, Deuteronomy 28. They'll be cared for and supported, enjoying the fruits of others' labor. Those are the other nations, Esau and the rest of them. Symbolizing divine blessing. Hold up, wait a minute. What is meant by symbolizing the divine blessing? The blessing is when we get on top and you get on bottom. You know? Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we up in the big league, taking our turn at bat. You know that show, and how did George Jefferson was looking down at the guy, the servants and shit, looking down at the cracker with the big nose. He's looking down on him, you know? It says, if strutting, okay? If elevation of status. To be elevated in status, you're on a low level, right? You work at a job, you might work in the mailroom. Then you get elevated, you might work in an office. Maybe 10 years, 20 years later, you might be the CEO of the company. So guess what? We will be the new CEOs of the company. The company is the earth. Elevation of status. It's not about slavery or oppression. Yes, it is about slavery or oppression. You just said that, chat. You just said that, chat. Symbolizing divine blessing. Yeah, when we put you in slavery. But about the Most High lifting up his people. If we get lifted up, not all people are going to be lifted up with us. There's going to have to be reversal of fortune to a place of honor where they are no longer the marginalized, but the blessed and central. Spiritual fulfillment, which is also physical fulfillment, because the kingdom is going to be on the earth. In Christian understanding, which is bullshit, many interpret this spiritually. The Gentiles, non-Israelites, Gentiles, other nations, which includes the Edomites, would eventually come to serve and support the spiritual work of God. Oh, we're going to help you. No, you're going to do what we tell you to do. First of all, you don't tell us nothing. We tell you what to do. So for that, I'm going to whip you. In the New Testament view, and they believe that, the New Testament changed everything. All that hardcore stuff in the Old Testament. Where was Yahweh Shai reading from? He was reading from the Old Testament. And he was breaking down the Old Testament, Isaiah 61. This is seen in the Gentiles joining in the blessings of God's kingdom. Example given Romans 11. No, Romans 11 has nothing to do with the other nations. That's talking about the Israelites that were in a Gentile state of mind. So what the hell are you talking about? Y'all better get ready for captivity. In summary, Isaiah 61 paints a picture of a time when the Most High's people, the Israelites, will be restored. We're going to be... restored means to be what? To put meaning back to the original position. If we was on top in the past, during the time of King David, King Solomon, during the time of the kings of Israel, did not we enslave the Edomites? So if we're going to be put, and Edomites are above us, vengeance, Luke 21, these are the days of vengeance. Rome got vengeance over it. What does the word vengeance mean? It means to get somebody back for what they did to you. The wrong that they did to you, you get them back. So what did we do to the Romans that they had to get vengeance on us? They were the Edomites. They knew that they were the Edomites. Remember, you had the Herodians, they were Edomites. They looked just like the Romans. The Most High's people will be restored, put back in our position on high, honored, and blessed. Through thy seed, Abraham, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. The ones that's going to be blessed are the Israelites. It's not talking about all the nations. If everybody on the planet Earth is blessed in the kingdom, who's going to work? If we're all equally blessed, that's stupid. No longer oppressed, but served by others. There you go. The mother nations are going to... That's slavery right there. It's part of a larger vision of healing, justice, and the coming kingdom of the Most High. So they kind of got it, but they kind of gave you the New Testament. No. Yahushua broke it down. He broke down the Old Testament scripture, Isaiah 61, during the time of the New Testament. So if he had read down to the 5th verse, he would have said, you know they over you, but you're gonna be their slave masters. You know the Romans gonna be your slaves. Now let's go to reversal. Let's go to reversal of fortune. Let's go to the Google. Reversal of fortune. This man is done. He's forget about it. Just give it up, turn it loose. You going into slavery, man. That's why you think so many Christians roll out with their scriptures. What about this one? What about that one? And the Gentiles, this and the Gentiles, they're looking for a loophole to get in. There ain't no loopholes. There ain't no loopholes. And every time you bring your little loophole, we close that little loophole. The only thing you can do is hope that you're an Israelite and you look like an Edomite. And that could be true too. And we got to tell them that. He said, look, if you might look like an Edomite, but you could be an Israelite. You got to tell them that. What are you? I'm Irish. Might be an Israelite. Might be an Israelite. I'm a Sicilian. I'm from Naples. You might be an Israelite. I'm Polish. You might be an Israelite. Meaning, reversal of fortune. I'm getting ready to close. God's reversal of fortune is about to hit hard, technical, blah, 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 blah. Let me go. Let me do this. Let me go to images. A wheel of fortune. Okay, let me do this. Let me go to all. I may even go to AI mode. A reversal of fortune refers to a significant and often dramatic change in someone's circumstances. If you're in slavery, all of a sudden you're not in slavery. Dramatic circumstances change is you are the slave master and the people that enslave you are now the slaves. Usually from a state of success to failure. Esau, the elite of Esau is in a state of success. They're going to be in a state and experience a state of failure. Or from adversity to triumph. Now, what does it say in Job? What is that? 20. The triumphing of the wicked is but short. They're at the end. They're at the end of the tunnel, man. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it. That follow. What is that? What is that talking about? That's reversal of fortune right there. What did the movie come out with Eddie Murphy? Changing Places. Reversal of fortune. Great movie. Showed you that the character that was played by what's the guy from the Saturday Night. I haven't seen him in so long. I forget his name. It'll come back to me. But he had the steward. He was looking down on the Negroes. He talking that uppity up talk. How did he talk? Then he was transformed to a bum on a bus eating some raw fish. And that was behind a bet from the Mortimers. So they said, oh, we got to take down this nigger. We ain't going to have no nigger run this shit. The one guy one Mortimer won the bet over the other. And they said, oh, I won the bet. I can show you that you can take a bum-ass nigger and make him a top, Wall Street guy. So what happened was he realized it. He got together with the Edomite, Dan Aykroyd. That's him. And they flipped it on them guys. That's the ultimate story of reversal, ultimate example of reversal of fortune. This can involve a shift from being favored by fate to facing hardship, or conversely, a turnaround from being down and out Israelites to experience good luck or success. What did the Lord say? It's easy to make a poor man rich on the sudden. It's easy to make a poor man rich on the sudden. Let me see if I can find that. And he put in poor man rich. If I don't get it this way, I'll get it another way. Poor man rich. And I can even read a couple of precepts. Wow, 2000. Wow. Let me do this. You know what? Let me read a couple of these. This is 400, over 400. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends. Let me do it this way. Let me just kind of say it the best way I know how. It's easy to make a poor man rich on the sudden. Apocrypha. Easy to make a poor man rich refers to the quote from the Apocrypha book, which is Sirach 11:21. See? Cheat sheet. So we're going to be poor one day, and then we're going to be on top the next day. The super rich, the elite, are going to be on the top, then they're going to be on the bottom. They're going to be shackled. Psalms 149, 5 and 6. Really read the whole chapter. Marvel, Ecclesiasticus 11, verse 21. Marvel not at the workers of sinners, but trust in Yahweh and abide in thy labor. What is our labor to do this work? Eat this roll and go out and teach who? The house of Israel. For it is an easy thing in the sight of Yahweh on the sudden to make a poor man rich. Who's the poor man? The Israelites. We're going to be the rich man. And the rich man, the elite, will be the poor man. And then they will be exterminated. And that's the beautiful part. Anyway, with that, shalom, on to the next. Shalom. Give it up, turn it loose, you're done. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And it says in Isaiah 61 that we would, let me go to that so I can read it verbatim. Isaiah. And we're gonna get the galleys. You know how we know that we in a blessed state? Because we don't have. First of all, how many of you brothers out there can honestly tell me you got women that are virgins? You ain't get no fucking virgin, so that ain't your fucking woman. You didn't pop a cherry. You didn't break the hymen. You know, every Israelite, great Israelite men, any Israelite men that had women, their wives were always virgins, man. Unless there was a divorcement that happened. Or adultery. In the kingdom, every last one of our women are going to be virgins. Isaiah 61. Let me go back to 5. And I'm sick and tired of this fucking place. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, that's slavery. And the sons of aliens, strangers of other nations, aliens of other nations, shall be your plowman and your wine presses. That's slavery. They're going to be working out in the field while we sitting back. But ye, the Israelites, shall be named the priest of Yahweh. Who the priest of Yahweh? The whole nation of Israel, all the men, as a fulfillment of what is that? Exodus 19. A kingdom of priests. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the other nations, and in their glory, their riches, shall ye boast yourself. That's reversal of fortune. Let me go ahead and go to that. I'm sorry. Reversal of fortune. Let's go back to that. And I read it, so we're going to come back. A reversal of fortune refers to a significant and often dramatic change in someone's circumstances, usually from a state of success to failure, Esau, or from adversity to triumph. This can involve a shift from being favored by fate to facing hardship, or conversely, a turnaround from being down and out to experiencing good luck or blessings or success. That's what's going to happen to us. That's what's going to happen. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So get ready for the big payback. All of you going into captivity. You ain't going to be alone. You're going to be there, have the other nation to keep you company. But you're going to get the most foots up your ass sideways. Anyway, shalom, on to the next. Shalom. The scriptures say, comfort one another with these sayings, right? So we're comforting you. Shalom.